Alright guys, welcome back to another video, more in hospitality. This is Billy. We're doing things a bit different now. I'm beginning our first in a series of reaction videos where we're going to look at different content you guys have been sending me through the years and through the recent months. And I'm going to look at it for the first time here with you and record it on video. I figured I see a lot of other YouTube channels doing this to create some content for you to learn from and get a little entertainment from. So I figured I'd give it a shot from my channel. Otherwise, if you're looking for more educational content on how to get your first catering client, I recommend you check out my must-watch playlist. You can check that out in my YouTube profile. First, we're going to go look at, this is a 4-year-old post on the Reddit Kitchen Confidential subreddit. And the title is, "So Seriously, when do we stop acting like we don't deserve better? When do we start demanding the same benefits as other skilled trades?" This title made me want to bookmark this and do a reaction video to it because I feel like, if you've been attracted to my YouTube channel, then you're probably among those who are interested in trying to get out of probably trying to get out of someone else's kitchen and get out in your own. And so I think that what I might be reading here is somebody venting on Reddit, but it had gotten a lot of likes in the past, and a lot of comments. There's like 1.8k likes and over 300 comments. So let's take a look at this post. Let's begin, because let's be honest, cooking is a trade. I've been in the industry 13 years now. Whoa. I've worked everything from fast food to casual fine dining to cafeterias and catering. One thing that has held true for every business I've worked for, regardless of that business's prestige, you either have it or you don't. I don't really know what that means. I've had some coworkers that were the hardest working people. They showed up 15 minutes early to every shift, stay busy the entire time, and still just sick when it came down to being in the shit. On probably performing extremely well on the line is what I think that means. On the other hand, I've worked with some of the most fucked up individuals who would likely not be able to hold a job in any other industry, and some of those people are the ones I'd want to be beside on my Mother's Day service. I witnessed it personally, and I've also seen it on this sub of horror stories where a restaurant makes all of the good cooks quit and tries to replace them with cheap labor, only to go under in a few months later. It sounds like, to me, what this sounds like is this user is trying to. It sounds like a unionization would be something that this user might be interested in. I'm sure we all know at least one person who is an older cook. The guys in their 40s and 50s who have been doing this their whole lives. The one that's bitter, angry, and probably has a substance addiction. Every restaurant I've worked for has one of those guys, and yeah, that's true. I'm getting there too. I'm almost 40. When I was younger, it was novel and amusing, also kind of scary. I get that. As I got older, I moved into management and sous chef positions. That resentment became clear. Why do we allow ourselves to be treated like second-class workers? Why do we wear it as a badge of honor that we can work 60, 70, 80 hours a week for shit pay? Great question, and I asked myself that years ago as well, and that's why I made a change. Why is it the path to success in our field depends on you dedicating the entirety of your youth to a small chance that you make some decent money? We have been deemed an essential industry. Since the pandemic began, we've had to risk our personal safety to feed people. Since most states have reopened, we've lost people. We've been at the fucking forefront of all this shit and nothing is changing. Cooks are fucking getting sick and some are even dying just so Karen can have her fucking overpriced salad. Okay, I know it's funny, that was just funny to me, but I know it's a serious thing. Like, yes, you are an essential worker. You cooks out there, and you chefs, and you sous chefs, and you underpaid chefs, kitchen managers, line grunts, saute cook, tournants, culinary students or whatever, you are all deemed essential workers, but you can't even make a living wage. So I totally get where this frustration is coming from. So this must have happened like sort of in the midst of COVID there, towards the end, this post. Let's continue. When is enough enough? When do we start an actual movement? Not even just for cooks, but for our front of house brethren, for the entire service industry. I'm sure we're all familiar with what working with a talented server does or a competent hostess. I'm fucking tired, man. I will not end up as one of those old, jaded, miserable cooks. Cooking is my passion, but it's not worth my mental health. We need to either revolutionize the industry or destroy it. I like where this post is going. I know it's mostly a rant, but he makes some really valid points about not being respected as a worker, and especially if you want to call us essential workers because we're preparing food for people, and that's an essential service. And if you really think about it, you're a chef and you wear white. Most of you wear white. And why do you wear white? Why do doctors wear white? Well, we're creating things and we're putting things in people's bodies, and you wear white because you want to put out an air of cleanliness. But you can't make a living wage in this industry unless you find a really small niche. But if you're a doctor, you make plenty of money. So I don't know. Let's see some of the best comments here. This is the first comment. Now, seriously, I hope one of the positive things out of the pandemic is that our society realizes the relative value of things in our life. It's clear that the restaurant experience, not just food, is near the top of the list. Also, schools and apparently haircuts and nail salons. All workers obviously underpaid and underappreciated. Agree with that. No, I don't know if the pandemic has helped people realize that now that we're a couple years kind of out of it. I don't see much change in the industry. Have you guys looked at jobs recently and seen any real big changes in pay? I mean, I have seen some big changes in pay, but I believe out of reluctance in the management class, like the chefs and sous chefs and executive chefs, even multi-unit chefs, the pay for those positions are laughable right now. And I'm writing this, I'm making this video in May of 2024. This other user, many owners understand this and count on us accepting shit conditions, shit pay, and hours. When you spend all your time working, you can't fight for change. Humans were never meant to work this much. Okay, I agree. I don't know who said it, but the end of work is the beginning of leisure. And when you work in this industry, and you're not working for yourself, which I try and help you guys do, you never have leisure time. And if you do, you're just getting drunk at the bar down the street and keeping those people up all night, and they're your fellow industry folk. Another comment here. I'm recently down to just one regular full-time job. I'm usually the go-to person for asking if I can pick up extra shifts. I always say yes because it's for my team. The job I have now actually pays time and a half any day that I work that wasn't irregularly scheduled 5. That's pretty good. Which is in itself, it's way more than any kitchen has ever done for me. Oh, so they got out of the industry and they got that type of pay. For the last couple of weekends, I said no. I've got a family and I really like and really miss seeing. Honestly, 2 full days just to relax and do something enjoyable, weekends off, still can't get anything important done at the banks or the dentist, is worth more than the health and happiness of $100 or some change right now. Right before the pandemic, I was working 80 to 86 hour weeks. I remember that. I used to as well. And when you're young, you can do it for a while, but even then, it catches up with you. Especially if you have a child like I did, and you're trying to raise a family, then you look for other options. And I found those other options, and you just keep watching my YouTube channel. You'll see how I can help you with that. Don't realize how fast it was killing me. It's unfair for me and my kids to have pulled those types of hours to feel financially comfortable. All right, so these are all sub-comments in that first comment here. Let's go. Something else. My manager is expecting hibachi to be open on August 1st. We do fine with takeout only, but Jesus, how am I supposed to be safe cooking in front of... I don't want... They're worried about being safe. Yeah. Remember, Early COVID, and all the chefs and owners were like, we need to revamp a broken industry. Help me help you. I don't remember anyone saying that. Can the second restaurants were allowed to reopen, they were hiring for minimum wage because people are willing to work for it. No, they're not. I'm seeing ads for 2 to 4 years experience paying minimum wage. Yeah, I know. I see that too. Something I've never seen before pre-COVID. Unionize. That's what I think should happen. It's tough in the restaurant industry for that to happen, but I don't know. Go to some hotel downtown. These guys are union. Ask them for business cards. That's a big leap, though. A lot of risk. If you're risk adverse, reach out to your Congress people. Tell them to raise the federal minimum wage. It is the first step to elevating overall wages. Tell them to abolish the tipped wage of $2.13. It's big money, and the restaurant lobby that's fucking you, not immigrants like the other dude thinks. Okay, I agree with that. And let's do a couple more and we'll wrap this up. Recommended looking into the IWW. I guess that's, yeah, they're an industrial union that organizes everybody. They organize Burgersville, Stardust Cafe, and they'd even try to hit Jimmy John's and Starbucks. I knew these comments were going to get into the unionization part of it. And if you're a manager, a lot of you that watch my channel are managers. Unionization doesn't tend to help managers. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, if you guys are in a union and you're in the hospitality industry, especially in the food service portion of the hospitality industry, let me know how you feel about unions. I really am interested in that side of the restaurant business and the catering business. Standard trade unions have been unable to find the same success, or have been unwilling to come into the field because they don't think we're skilled enough. Okay, that's conjecture. I think whatever movement happens in the service industry, it's going to look a lot like what they have to offer. Okay, cool. Definitely unionize, another one says. I actually posted about this in another thread earlier as a response, but if you're an American, Google your state here, Workforce Investment Act. Literally every state will foot the bill for you to go to community college to get training and licensed into a trade. Free to you, no strings. Cool. That's if you want to get out of the industry. Not all of you do. The issue stems from what people are willing to pay. Now it seems like restaurants make a ton of money, but they don't really. But really, the only ones are the big chains and fast food that have good margins. I mean, if you have a smaller footprint, pizza joints make pretty good margins if they're managed right and they're priced right. Like small places that have small footprints. But if you're turning volume and you're selling some semi-premium items, like the restaurant I used to run, you can make a really decent chunk of change. But your profit margins, they're still like pretty thin. You still have pretty thin profit margins, but when you're turning over 10 million a year in sales, 14-15% of that isn't bad. Isn't a bad chunk of change. But I think that's it. I wanted to take a look at this Reddit post. I think they made some good points and they vented a lot, especially out of COVID. I could see the context of this situation. I feel like this is how I had felt in the past. I still feel this way about the industry, but now that I've sort of taken myself out of the a la carte restaurant scene, I don't feel that way anymore. But a lot of you are there, and you're trying to get out of it, and I totally understand that. I offer you one avenue so you can try and start to get out there. That's how to get your first high-paying catering client on the side. Check out my website for that and my must-watch playlist. And otherwise, unionization. That's something that I'd like to learn a bit more about. If any of you can help me with that, put something else in the comments. Other than that, you always get the first module of my course on how to get your first high-paying catering client. You get the first whole module for free, so go ahead and sign up for that. I'll have the link in the description and go to my website. Then you can enroll into the full course if you like that first module, and I'll take you step by step, holding your hand all the way on how to get your first high-paying catering client. And this is before you ever lease space in your own kitchen. This is before ever paying for anything. You can get your first catering client. Let me know what you guys think about this. I got a few more videos down the pipeline. in a similar way. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.